Hey everybody, Luke Wilson here again, bringing you another early offseason outlook. Tonight, we are going to be doing Davante Adams. All right, so King Adams. So in 2023, for Davante Adams, it was kind of a mixed bag. Overall, I think that'd be very fair to say. He was certainly one of the first 6 receivers off the board in redraft leagues, pretty much regardless of format. And at that ADP, he didn't quite get home, returning on that draft capital. He finishes as the wide receiver 10 in PPR, wide receiver 11 in half PPR. So I think a lot of people are getting a little skittish on Davante in Dynasty. His receptions have been down a little bit relative to his target shares of the last couple years. He has definitely missed Aaron Rodgers in that regard. He went over 110 receptions his last 3 full seasons with Rodgers. He hasn't gone over 105 in 2 years as a Raider. Between that and the fact that his yards per reception in 2023 was the lowest number he's ever posted in a full season, and his touchdowns were the lowest he's ever posted in a season where he played at least 14 games dating back to 2016, I think a lot of people feel like, okay, maybe the music's starting to slow down here, and Davante may be getting ready to kind of go the way of like DeAndre Hopkins, who has not really aged as gracefully as a lot of us would have hoped. I'm saying pump the brakes there because let's not forget the target share, because really nobody this side of Justin Jefferson can boast the kind of monster target loads that Davante Adams is still capable of. Over the last 3 years, he is averaging 175 targets a season, which is exactly how many he came in with in 2023. Yes, Adams struggled mightily in the middle part of the season. Weeks 5 through 9, he failed to crack the top 48 receivers in fantasy in any of those weeks, which for Davante Adams is unheard of. You'd have to assume that he was injured to be saying something like that. But in the first 4 weeks of the season, he had 50 targets, and in the last 8 weeks of the season, he had 90 targets, okay? So we're talking 12 and a half targets a game in the first part of the season, and then over 11 targets a game coming down the back stretch with Aiden O'Connell, of all people, at quarterback. And again, I made a similar argument on Stefon Diggs in a recent video. Davante Adams, the target share that he can command in any offense that he's in, and yes, we figure that he's going to be back with the Raiders in 2024. There's going to be lots of talk about, time for Davante to reunite with Aaron Rodgers in New York. The dollars and cents, the contract for Davante is just going to be so difficult for them to pull that off that it's really hard to see. Could happen, and if it does, that'd be very interesting, and I'd have to redo this video. But I'm presupposing that he's gonna stay put in Las Vegas. They don't really seem to want to move him. They seem to be trying to go out and compete in 2024, so obviously that means they need to keep Adams. Adams, the percentage of the targets that he still projects to command in Las Vegas, you just can't put a price on it. It is irreplaceable. When you're talking about Davante Adams, you're talking about one of like 2 guys in his airspace in fantasy football right now. Similar to the argument for Stefon Diggs in his video, just like Diggs has been a lock to give you like top 5, top 8 type production at the wide receiver position every year since 2018, Davante Adams has really been just about a lock to give you top 3 numbers at wide receiver every year since 2018. He's the only guy in the NFL that can boast 4 165 target seasons, 4 1,300 yard seasons, and 4 top 3 PPR finishes since 2018. Only Tyreek Hill is even close to being in his airspace and only on the PPR finishes. So where I'm at with Adams, again, his market, very similar to Diggs right now in terms of what type of capital he's going to require in a trade in dynasty leagues. I'm seeing him available for like late firsts, which, yes, Davante's up there. He's in his age 31 season, going toward 32, and we don't really know what the Raiders' offense is going to look like at all in 2024. We have no idea who the quarterback's going to be. We don't even really know what a real Antonio Pierce offense, and then also Luke Getsy coming over from the Bears. We have no idea what this offense is going to look like. I don't care. It's Davante Adams. I don't care. We know that 160 targets, and that might be conservative, we know 160 targets are on tap for Adams in 2024. The contract is almost intractable. He's bound to be back in Las Vegas almost definitely, and possibly for 2 more years. That type of production you cannot find anywhere else. I love the value in Davante Adams. If you can go get him for something like a late first, maybe even early second round pick, I think you have to do that 10 times out of 10 if you're serious about winning in 2024. And I'm going back to the well and redraft. And he burned me a little bit in leagues in 2023. So don't care. Do not hold it against him. I'm going back to the well on Davante Adams as what I suspect will be something like a middle second round pick. I'm going for it. The early offseason outlook for Davante Adams, oh, you better believe he is a buy.